Welcome. Good evening to Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Final edition of an annual analysis for the day. Third broadcast for the day. Happy any day, bro. Was on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Your most consistent updates always on Fiifi or YouTube. Now, any day, bro. Of course, my catch said, Story Investor and 4 separate codes. All of them did win. And then I've put the codes across on TikTok, Facebook, Twitter. Everywhere the codes are there. Inti say the weekend child bets there, then go across the various Fiifi-Manfred social media handles. In the description of this video, there's going to be the codes in there and also the link to the Telegram channel. I hope you will join in for daily wins on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Waiting in your high Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube, and then in some doors to Chelsea following a good breaking news. But can they go in and qualify to go and play in the UEFA, in the Champions League? There's a big game in the interest of the Champions League. Aston Villa versus Manchester City. Who gets the nod? No, I'm on Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. But let's start like this. For the purposes of the European Golden Boot, and then what we are hearing and is a Victor Gyökeres and he did a pack, for who becomes the European Golden Boot winner. No, I brought your friend Mohamed Salah rather and he did a pack because of the coefficient. Mohamed Salah 27 goals, 54 points. Victor Gyökeres 34 goals, by 51 points. Robert Lewandowski 25 goals for League by 50 points. Harry Kane 24 goals, by 48 points. Matteo Retegui of Atalanta 23 goals, by 46 points. And I brought your friend Kylian Luton Mbappe 22 goals by 44 points. Imagine Brent your friend Victor Gyökeres did a pack for the European Golden Boot winner. Victor Gyökeres on super form and teams be bringing up panel. They have been a conversation of Chelsea, but Arsenal are the closest to getting a branch your friend Victor Gyökeres. Arsenal for the G2 say in this season only a center forward when you want and come to the English Premier League. The absence of a center forward are affecting Mikel Arteta and any team. What they are looking to do is to find a center forward or be team more with the maximum goals over here. And we'll be teaming him and our brand here friend Victor Gyökeres and a part of them over there in terms of who gets in and becomes the next player of Manchester goes to. And we'll see how things will go in with respect to Victor Gyökeres. What you are hearing is say, with respect to the passing of the Pope, Pope Francis, the last Barca, we got Pope John Paul, Pope Francis from Argentina, Buenos Aires, and then I don't see games about Italian Serie A on Saturday, the funeral and the bar on it, Adidas games in Roma postponed, Inter versus Roma postponed, Como versus Genoa postponed, Lazio versus Parma, and so I postponed our Italian Serie A because of that. A lot of things now are not going to go on in there. And then you make 3 points per and a separately in the conversation of the top 4 conversation. Our English Premier League game, Aston Villa and Man City. But Aston Villa have been in very, very good form, but I will fear they will be difficult for anybody to beat them since November. But of course, away from home, no more results now. I hear wishy-washy kakra, and they are going away to a certain Man City team when you rejuvenation, calmness about club now, Omar Bush air the likes of Nico Uriale with me free bench and Babeshe, and that's a confidence in back with Manchester City. And when a Villa beats match or not, it's a big deal. But the conversation is that because of the 3 points at that 3rd place and the 7th place, it has blown it wide open. And then you see there we're gonna. It opens up the gap for anybody to go on and get the chance. Aston Villa a dropping points and now a much big opportunity to Chelsea to close in on Saga. If Omobo draw, it means that it's just 59 for Man City, 58 for Villa. Chelsea sharing again. It goes on top of a team, my friend Manchester City. L1 gives them an advantage. MRFV, it's a team, your friend of Newcastle United, 59 over 80. It blows the conversation in there. In terms of the English Premier League, but we don't come up in details. Why the English Premier League going to be very tough games are ever. Why Chelsea should win certain games, any of the permutations of some match, be remove more than but you run over the camp of team friend FC Barcelona, and Then you remember against Mallorca. After Mallorca, there is going to be team your friend Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey final. El Maca said, "Basta conversation. It's about the margin of errors. Maybe a season, who lose points, who dropping points, one show matches. That's all messy up. You lose almost everything that we're working for throughout the season. And Barca have gotten to the point where they worked so hard throughout the season. My Juma, our Champions team, my Juma, our league game, my very, very successful our cup competitions. So the game against Atletico de Madrid, the last time against Celta Vigo, who lose dropping points against Mallorca. Now Madrid they're closing in, and then you're in trouble. Of course, also on the other side of the Copa del Rey, Madrid would want to win. Which is very important this season. Business and approaching with 3 European giants still in the hands for historic treble. Barca beat La Liga no semi-final. Beat UCL Copa del Rey more final. Of course, also team friend Paris Saint-Germain. Most likely they can go on and then win the French league. Mudryk Coupe de France almost semi-final. Final, of course. Also same. Coppa Italia Inter semi-final. UCL semi-final, Italian Serie A or more first place. All of those 3 teams now can go on and then win something over the various leagues, and it makes it really, really interesting for especially for Inter Milan. But then again, it's very, very certain. So Milan team now almost go head to head against team your friend FC Napoli, also very experienced. Our Italian Serie A, and then we'll see how that goes over there. Of course, when you talk about teams, BTC, Barcelona, then you're talking about how they can go on and win the treble. Madrid for right there, and they are trying to stop everything from there. And then Carlo Ancelotti didn't come on, and they said, "I'm going to Copa del Rey, I'm going to League." Now, I say, "Beba into fruition," and I say, "Beba into life there." And the Barca some years is almost Barcelona and Carlo Ancelotti. I can't I said Madrid for it to Barcelona because so much Barcelona were league in our Estadio de Luis Campañas and I said Mudryk. They go on and possibly get the Spanish La Liga. So much Copa del Rey final now. They win the Copa del Rey final. And it's a close call for Team FC Madrid. They know that they have a job to do. Go and play in the game against Barca. Barca show throughout the season. Ball from in a lot of matches, but this time in the league, and of course in the Copa del Rey final. We started in the Copa del Rey final, and Carlo Ancelotti was very clear. And our bench here, your friend Aurélien Tchouameni, who was the man of the match in the last match, Madrid, has come out and has said a few things about Madrid for Aurélien. I try to give everything every day, with and without the ball, to improve, help my teammates as much as possible to win games. I want to thank you, the fans, for everything of the Barca. I would like to thank our Real Madrid fans for everything. It's a pleasure to see this award, Player of the Month for Madrid. I'm very happy because our award from the fans, and that's what Aurélien Tchouameni, the Madrid Player of the Month, the Madrid Forum are preparing also for a squad on a game against Getafe. And then Madrid Forum. Team friend in Madrid, they know it's very, very important. They need to close in the gap and then win something. They need to get something. Madrid for them say, ever be in this area, they have to try and get something. I brought your friend of Dani Carvajal are returning to grass training and they are doing a job done. I said, Carlo Ancelotti kind of Madrid Edge Trophy. And he also, if we want to win the La Liga and the Cup, we have to beat Barcelona. We are confident that we can win. Obviously, we have to change something in this sense, and we are going to change something. That's exactly as Papa friend Carlo Ancelotti says so meeting this season. And so much Barcelona for and then Kasaka, and so you and in the Shannon Bashomo, as almost a son maybe, and almost say almost a son. So we are going to do exactly that, and then make sure they will make some changes. And then make sure whatever they have to change, they'll do the changes and then get the job done over there. But I'm already say English Premier League, the games are really, really, really difficult games for team and your friend FC Chelsea Football Club teams. games now kind of more delay and easy games and yet straightforward games at all. But so Chelsea manager I friend Enzo Maresca I can throughout the season say this season Osha Chelsea for have improved from our last season form. And Oka with respect to maybe at Chelsea that this being point in time. Sky Sport for a points difference compared to last season. And maybe a club's thing and according to Sky 4 and the data, last 2 seasons, I said Nottingham Forest for and then had the most points accumulation as compared to last season. We had 28 points more. Brentford and had 9 points, 14 points more actually. Chelsea had a third with 9 points more. Newcastle 9 points more. Crystal Palace 8 points more. Bournemouth 7 points more. Fulham, Liverpool, all of these clubs now that have been teams that are regressive this season have been Wolverhampton Wanderers, Aston Villa, Arsenal, West Ham United, Manchester United, and then Man City. These are the teams that are dropping. But then also the other teams they are some very very good forward. Some improvements in the way that they've played, some more points on the board, which is very good. And Enzo Maresca has been saying it a lot of the times. Say on Osha, the players they are improving. But your friend Pedro Neto and shares are winning goal for Chelsea. Once we get a box dominant striker who will feast on crosses, I'm sure this fan base will start to appreciate Neto a lot more. A lot of his qualities haven't been able to be showcased over there. Pedro Neto, really important player for team my friend Chelsea over there. Now on Monday Night Football, Rem 4 manager your friend Scott Steele last night on Monday Night Football, the coach that might have a game plan ready for the opposition, but the game starts and they use different systems. Wait until halftime. Wait till halftime could take too long to explain what to change. So go on goal kicks and take your time with throw-ins. That's exactly. And my brother for manager and I say sometimes if you are coach me prepare a tactical analysis no I prepare so we bossy after the baby partner so after system nice so we're trying to have time and they are in trouble into goal kicks now tweaky can central players now and then throw in you make some changes now over there for the most games are aka throughout the season as it stands now games are very very interesting. I say Ubia Jatum say Chelsea now the most difficult of all the fixture list that aka our fixtures national. Of course, pushing Nottingham Forest, Brentford and Crystal Palace. These are 2 games that I'm very confident Nottingham Forest will not get 6 points in there. Leicester, it will feel a done deal for them. West Ham away, tricky game over the enough about Chelsea. Now, many asterisk about Chelsea match. I'll come back and tell you something about it. Newcastle. Ipswich, I think it's a 3 point for them. Brighton and Hove Albion away our the Bank of America Stadium. Brighton are falling off Kakra. Fabian Hesler and Mantier, they've dropped off a little bit. So I think this can be at least a draw for Newcastle for Chelsea versus Newcastle United at home. It's a game where I think the Newcastle for also can get at least a draw. Chelsea shell Newcastle also another game where you put asterisk over there. I'll come back to it. There is Arsenal also, and then there is team and your friend Everton in that conversation. City, about Villa and then about Wolverhampton over Southampton away, about Bournemouth over Fulham away from home. Fulham away from home, final day. I don't know, but City looks like for me. I think they in their top 4. City actually one place. Yeah, can I say third? No, City are third. No, for me, I got 2 places to be shared between Nottingham Forest, Newcastle United, Chelsea. And then Aston Villa 8 airport drawer almost only out. I think that it gets 2 places for 3 teams over there. Chelsea, Everton, Everton, anything to lose at all. Also Everton, there's nothing at stake for them at the end this season. Chelsea ball draw 0-0. LFE at a good impact to them. They are coming to Chelsea home. It's a game where non-negotiable. Chelsea have to win. Before Liverpool, remember Stamford Bridge, actually going area. If Liverpool are actually going to come Stamford Bridge with a win already there, then I think Chelsea should be able to win this game at home because they're Anfield. Yes, you'd have things okay. Liverpool have a coronation, but in Anfield, they're Stamford Bridge. Give them the guard of honor and then beats Liverpool, gets the maximum points and qualify when playing the Champions League. Then Newcastle away from home. I told you, our Newcastle side. I think that from Chelsea point of view, Chelsea can't afford to lose a Newcastle match. When you draw now if you win Newcastle, you must share spoils. Then Manchester United at home. Manchester United, a possible Europa League semi-final 5 days before this match, or a possible final. It's a game where Chelsea should win at home. Last season, Chelsea share Man United, stubborn United team, but they are very beatable. A lot of teams have beaten them. Almost conceded, almost share goals, but then they make it also very difficult over there. Chelsea should be able to beat team your friend of Manchester United and Nottingham Forest away, just like Newcastle match. I think this is the Champions League playoff. Nottingham Forest versus Chelsea, final day. It was City ground, big game, big game. I think say a Champions League playoff game. Chelsea just cannot afford so lose match. Newcastle Chelsea game, Chelsea versus Nottingham Forest. Chelsea just cannot afford so lose. They need to go over there and then get the job done. Which is something that's very important. And Mr. William agent, your friend Andrea Kerry, it didn't come on. In common was simple. Was it Charlie? A Juma Chelsea for a year in to was here. So we are brand your friend is the vow. I'm not about Bobby or England. We Jumana, Spain for in Yabutre, but Chelsea for in Yabutre, TS and Estevao joining Chelsea after the Club World Cup. But then breaking news, Abba, and it's the breaking news and our brand here, your friend of Mihailo Modric. Everybody remembers that Mihailo issue with some doping tests, molybdenum, I on a blood sample, and it's a temporary band, and then at stance now still sample B on in your mind. But now Shakhtar Donetsk for CEO or top player no Chelsea now. What didn't come on? Your friend is Sergi Palkin. Sergi Palkin say on it Mihailo Modric didn't come on. No can say Modric in him at the end of the now so make news ni breaking me catch yourself because you say Russia-Ukraine war, some issues of propaganda because as a name, a lot of the players are a lot of the people among the public domain Ukraine for, and maybe it could have been the issue. And I've spoken to Modric many times since this doping issue, according to Palkin. I say he doesn't understand how it could have happened. He has no clue. He has no idea. And Mikacho said one of the things that can be possible, and he said, I am not free East Europe and say Ukraine. I'm my SN you may feel more at the back England now. There's a possibility. Say this and send you a better friend Mihailo Modric now. In the doping substance to be a cocoa firm, whether intentional or unintentional, ain't me ascertain you are saying. And then my branch the friend Mihailo Modric and the Anokodia and the Nagakotosa big trouble or they want and net. Nobody really knows when a branch friend Mihailo Modric is going to return L1. And I'll see went on says that Modric has been cleared. It's not his fault that he has tested positive. We now need to find out how this has happened and who did this. His lawyers are trying to find out, and don't say that's exactly and the lawyers there are still no results from the sample B MI. So that means that remains open. Nobody knows what's happened. I wish Modric all the best. He's a top professional and a very good person and should be protected. But they only say, last week, Mihailo Modric lawyers, Emma Brantier friend Mihailo Modric, ATK, what they call a lie detector test. And that's a polygraph test. Now, Modric able take a polygraph test or pass a polygraph test. There are certain things that detect your hormones that gets released, whether there are certain levels of dopamine and the likes. That's they know the man lie detector test. Now lawyers not in trying to help Mihailo Modric win the case now. Emma Brantier friend Modric, ATK, and the other friend the lie detector, a lie detector test and Brantier your friend Mihailo Modric, a passe lie detector test but I don't know. It has no legal bearing. It has no legal, grounds over there. It's just a polygraph test. It's independent on its own. It's as enough evidence to say somebody's telling the truth or not. It's not admissible in court or in any committee of that matter. And of course, although he has passed the lie detector test, it still doesn't mean anything. So a lie detector test and as a polygraph test a year by measuring the physiological responses that are believed associated with lying. It doesn't detect lies directly. It looks for signs of stress or arousal that might occur when someone is being deceptive. Here's how it works. Sensors now are attached to the person being tested for no. These tests usually measure heart rate, blood pressure, breathing rate. So when you say who try and try there, blood pressure because or heart rate because breathing rate be increasing, skin conductivity, sweat gland activity be increasing. First of all, a baseline. Until maybe say, is your name Mihailo Modric? I'm passing Mihailo Modric. That's one because yes, my name is Mihailo Modric. It is how we the baseline tester. Okay, say too far off it, and then it can detect whether it is right or wrong. So that's how a lie detector test work. And I'm going to share now. They are brand here friend Mihailo Modric passing it. And in a change, we're hoping say Modric and be free more fit and be there. Come on, Fiifi-Manfred on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll be back with some more. Take care.